Isn't that interesting? EOS has been the best performing cryptocurrency in the top 100 in the last week. The question is why? Is this rally just going to start, or is this a pump and dump? Let's have a look at the data most people aren't considering. Let's have a look at adoption of the chain and let's see what's driving the price. Now here are the 100 largest cryptocurrencies. And they are ordered by their performance in the last week. And EOS is at number 1 with quite a big of a delta. At number 2 is Zcash that only made 13% versus the 38 of EOS. Now here's an interesting website. This is CoinMarketCap/historical, and it shows us snapshots of the top 100 cryptocurrencies at different points in time. So we see the prices at the time. We can also see the ranking of the different cryptocurrencies at those different points in time. And when we look 7 years back, we can also find EOS at that time at place number 6. A lot of the tokens that still matter today are listed here. So we've got Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Cardano. Stellar isn't that popular anymore. Neither is Neo. But Monero is still around. IOTA is somewhat bleeding. So 7 years ago, Bitcoin was still at $7,000 and EOS was a bit over $5. Now things have changed since then. EOS is not anymore at place number 6, but instead at place number 62 in terms of its market cap. And we are not at $5 anymore, we are at 80 cents despite the recent rally. Now EOS has been around for quite a while, but that doesn't mean that the project is dead. There's actually something coming up. Soon EOS will have a different name. It will be called Voltra, and that's because there is a change in tokenomics. It's explained in this paper over here, new EOS tokenomics proposal. That proposal had been accepted and now we got quite a bit of staking rewards. So the supply will grow over time. This is the schedule. In the next 3 years, we will have roughly 50% more EOS tokens than today. In general, new development and new updates to a project tend to be positive. However, when the supply expands over time, we have to see additional demand as well. We have to see more demand than, for example, for Bitcoin. The idea of buying an altcoin is always that we want to get more performance than just buying Bitcoin, right? We take on more risk by buying the alt, and so we should also expect more return. Otherwise, risk versus reward doesn't really match up. Unfortunately, in the past, EOS underperformed Bitcoin pretty consistently. So that's the chart you've probably not seen before. This is the EOS chart relative to BTC. And while we do have sometimes a rally of almost 300%, over the very long term, we just see underperformance. So that's 99.1% from April of 2019 to today. And this is just the recent rally. So it's just another recovery from an overall negative trend. We can also look at the inverse chart, right? Bitcoin denominated in EOS. So that's this over here. If we were to bet on falling prices of EOS relative to Bitcoin, we'd get this chart here. So isn't that interesting, right? Wouldn't it make sense to potentially buy this? Or in other words, short EOS to buy Bitcoin? Yes, sometimes we get a short squeeze and then a bet like this can go negative for a while, but the overall trend is pretty clear. Does it really make sense to hold EOS long term over BTC? I don't think so. I think it's better to short EOS. Now EOS is a blockchain with its own adoption, with its own applications, and we can have a look at how much capital is actually locked up in those applications. So what we see over here is DeFi Llama, and this is the total value locked, so all of the capital across all blockchains. And we had very nice growth in 2021. That was the DeFi summer. Then we saw a massive implosion. This is when the Terra Luna protocol went bust. Subsequently, FTX also went belly up. And then things started to recover. But this is all of decentralized finance. Here we've got the same chart for EOS. And it doesn't look like there is long-term growth, but actually there is, because when we don't look at this in US dollars, but we look at this measured in EOS tokens, we do have growth. So the blockchain is being used. The issue is that the EOS token itself tends to go down long-term over time because of the token inflation. And since the supply again will double in the next few years, this trend might continue. We might simply not see that much capital on chain. We just see more usage, but not necessarily more dollars dollars. There are a lot of applications. We've got decentralized finance, we've got sports betting, we've got decentralized exchanges, etc. But all of that doesn't help when there's too many tokens hitting the market. I do believe that this chart long term will prevail. I do believe that Bitcoin will continue to outperform EOS. The reason why EOS can rally that much is not just because of the news announcement. I believe there's simply a lot of whales that still hold EOS from the early days that now increase the volatility in the price to potentially get more attention on the token. And as there's more attention on the token, there might be new purchasers. Attention and buying pressure is somewhat correlated, and very often the volatility simply gets spiked up via derivative contracts. Have a look at this. This is the spot trading volume across various centralized exchanges, and this is led by Binance. But what really moves the price is not the spot market, it's the perpetual futures market. So it's the bets on the price, and that is also led by Binance. We had more than 600 million worth of trading volume on the perps on Binance in the last 24 hours alone. This is, in the end, what moves prices. Have a look at the funding rate. There's clearly a historical change, and at some point this will normalize again. And then this long-term trend is likely going to continue. So I do expect this rally to deflate again and for EOS to underperform Bitcoin by another 40%. But are we going to see the turnaround today when EOS is at 81 cents? Or are we going to continue to see a bit more of a rally, maybe an additional 30-40%? Nobody knows. But I think it's a better strategy to potentially dollar cost average into a short position here than to dollar cost average into a long position, right? You rather want to be long-term betting on falling prices. So that's what we have to do directionally, right? When the market tends to expand, when there's new people coming into the space, when attention on crypto is high, then we should be buying the dips, right? That's what we do during a bull run. And when the market rather contracts, when there's not new people coming in, then we should be shorting the pumps. So you should be betting on falling prices when the prices rise quickly. And that's especially true for relative evaluation charts for something like EOS versus BTC that tends to go down and will likely continue to go down in the future. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm currently making money by betting on falling prices. Since we hit 100K in Bitcoin, all I'm doing is I'm betting on falling altcoins, and I'm making a lot of money with that. If you want to know what kind of altcoins I short and how I do this and how I manage my risk, etc., then feel free to check out the premium membership that's down below, thebitcoinstrader.com. And if it's your first time here, feel of course also free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time. Cheers.